Welcome, everybody, to the Digital Nomad Experts podcast by Beach Commute. Today, we've got Jeff and Marissa here, and we are going to talk about something very timely right now as we're both cold in our houses. We're going to talk about 8 warm locations to escape the winter as a digital nomad in 2024. As we typically do as digital nomads, or at least I do, a lot of my friends do, I can't stand being cold. Once my fingers start getting numb when I'm typing, I get physically upset. Marissa, you've seen it before on calls. I'm just angry.
He's not as happy when it's dark and cold.
It's a physiological response that I just get anger coursing through my veins when I'm cold, and I don't want to be cold. So I'll only put up with it for a little bit, and then I'll pull the full. I guess snowbirds kind of beat us to the punch. This is an old school snowbird move. People in the States,
right? True.
Moving from the northern states in the summer, going down to Florida, going down to Arizona, the typical two. But
in the winter, yeah.
We just do it on a larger scale, I guess.
We're moving continents.
Yeah.
We're moving countries. I keep seeing all these things on Instagram lately that are basically like, if you're avoiding the cold, like you're avoiding your inner like loneliness, you're avoiding all the inner
what?
stuff. Maybe there's a truth. Well, there's something to be said. Like if you think about, I'm not saying I escape the winter as well, I know, but there is a lot to be said of like, there's a lot of plants that like need winter, need hibernation, or almost every country, even if it's not hot and cold, gets like a rainy season and a dry season where I feel like there's like a time that we're meant to go inwards, that a lot of us as nomads are just escaping, and we're like, go forever. And we don't have our like, bears like to like hibernate, plants like to like take it easy and then regrow. So we just kind of like go forever, which, maybe this is good, maybe this is bad, but I also don't like the cold and prefer the beach. And
I'm not a bear, and I'm not a... Well,
take it.
Maybe I am a bear.
You're a human.
Yeah, a human
You
being.
are a little bit of a bear. If I had to give you an animal, we've never played this game, but I think I might assign a bear to you.
Shuts down during the winter, can get a little cranky.
Well, yeah,
Overeats on
little
occasion.
brown bear.
Fair enough.
So with that, I just want to caveat, I know winters and going inward and all of that can be good sometimes, but if you're like us and you're wanting to escape the winter and get to the warm, we've got the information for you today.
Yeah, and also we're going to be talking about coming from Northern Hemisphere to Southern Hemisphere. Go reverse, maybe a topic for another episode, but in case you're listening currently in the Southern Hemisphere,
yes,
we're going the opposite direction for this podcast.
Yes, so winter, if it's your winter months in what kind of like December, January, February, March-ish, that's what we're talking about here, escaping winter of those months in the Northern Hemisphere to find some warm locations.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
So let's kick it off with number 1, Marissa.
Okay, number 1 in our list, good old Puerto Escondido. I feel like this has come up on, and that's in Mexico. And some of you have been writing in to say, like, can you please spell out some of these locations? So we'll try to remember to do that or write them somewhere, because I know sometimes when we speak, you're like, what is it? Where is it? So Puerto is the first word, Puerto, and then Escondido, Escondido. So this one's in Mexico. If you guys have listened to the podcast, Jeff and I love Mexico. We spend a lot of time there. This is one I feel like every January, almost like I want to call it 30%. It's like half of our digital nomad friends. So we're not speaking for nomads of the entire world, but of our community. And Jeff and I know a lot of nomads have been traveling for like 6, 7, 8+ years, like have a lot of people in this community. And if I think about my friends on Instagram of like real just digital nomads that have been traveling for a while, I feel like there is a migration to Puerto Escondido almost every January, where it's like a third of the nomads that I know. Maybe that's a slight exaggeration.
I don't think it
is. But in the last couple of years, it has been like really and truly. It's a top one. So I've been avoiding it for a little while because of the internet situation. I know that's better now with Starlink, so that really has changed. And now I just haven't gotten to it. It's so much better now.
It was so bad
it's changing.
when I first went there.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, it felt more, this was back January 22, so 4 years ago. This was back when it was more in its backpackers kind of phase. It was like the dirt roads, and it had nomad cafes with nomad food, and just like kind of like a heavy backpacker vibe. And now from what I hear, it's changed quite a bit. Like they're paving some of the roads. They've got a ton of new restaurants apparently, and it's fully evolved into a digital nomad spot. Shouldn't surprise. Should have bought property there. Really, that was stupid.
I know so many people talked about it.
Yeah, you can kind of see it coming with some of these locations. Like, it goes through those phases. It's like, oh, that one was really clear. It was definitely always meant to be a digital nomad spot. And then sure enough, everybody goes there, and they go there because, like, when I was there in January, I don't think I saw a cloud in the sky. It was like 4 weeks, not one cloud in the sky. The average temperature there in January is 83 and 72. So it's just like sunsets, beautiful weather, just super, super mild and relatively inexpensive. I'd say, like, now, because this is a timely podcast, we're doing it for 2024. We'll update again next year. It's getting more expensive in Mexico. The exchange rate changed. It used to be 20 pesos to a dollar. Now it's like 17. And as more digital nomads go into a place, it gets a little bit more pricey. So it won't pop up on our value list anymore, I don't think.
It used to be like one of the most affordable places. It was like a tiny little place no one knew about, and now it's like almost hard to get a solid accommodation because there's just so many people who are going to this tiny little town. I was looking, where was I? I think when I was in Playa. I was in Mexico in a different place last February, I want to say, and I was thinking about popping over to visit some friends, and I had a friend who was going, and he was asking where to go and like what locations and what neighborhoods. And as I was helping him search, I was like, there's literally no good options. He was booking super last minute too, to be fair, but accommodations are getting harder to find. I feel like it's like the sleepy little town that everyone used to love is like, growing, and it's not the same anymore. But I know people I have some friends who are nomad friends who are, there essentially full time and just like love it still. So it's still a great place. I feel like if you like the rustic small town beach vibe, where you just kind of ride a scooter around and everyone meets at the volleyball court at sunset and you just kind of see all the nomads around, like, this is for you. But for whatever reason, January, I think for us it's because a lot of our friends who are from the US will go home for like Christmas time. And then because it's so close, like Mexico's so close to the US, I feel like it's like a lot of people's first, like, next stop. They're like, I'm here, I might as well hop over to Mexico, meet up with everybody. And then they kind of like continue onward throughout the year. So that's my hunch.
Community's there. The prices are okay. The weather's perfect. Oh, and also when I think of beach commute, I think of Puerto Escondido. Because it was, when I stayed there for a month, I used to ride a scooter to the beach. I would just ride it to actually the whatever cafe I ended up going to, just along the coast there. It's kind of like our logo. And that's exactly what I think of when I think of our brand, because it's kind of a nice laid back way. When you think of digital nomad, I kind of think of Puerto Escondido. Hop on your scooter, tank top on, ride to the beach, work for however long you need, and then ride back in the sunset. It's kind of kind of a romantic way to look at the lifestyle, just when you think of
100%.
Puerto
So
Escondido.
it's classic.
Yeah.
It's made a lot of our different lists. And before, it's always been kind of one of the harder ones because of Wi-Fi, but that's like suddenly changing.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be just like soon, I think it will be one of the easiest locations and like one of the popular even beginner destinations. It's like inching its way up there. So yeah, that's number one.
Changing the game for beach locations.
Changing the game.
Yeah.
I know. I love it. And then I'm sure there'll be some newer beach locations coming up because of that too, that weren't as popular, which is exciting because otherwise everywhere just gets overcrowded. But I think this will actually maybe allow other places to sort of pop up as well. All right, you want to read off number 2?
Number 2 is Cape Town. And kind of similar to Puerto Escondido, that can also turn into a huge winter hub for people. It did last year. There was, I don't even know how many people were there, maybe 40 or 50. And at any given time, it seems like a lot of people just hang out in Cape Town. They'll just stay through the winter. People love it there.
A lot of people do like a January, February, March timing in Cape Town because it's like their perfect summer. Yeah.
Yeah. I spent a couple months down there. So you kind of get a mixed group of people. A lot of Europeans will escape their winter by going. It's one of the few places they can actually go to that's accessible.
Like similar time zones.
Same time zones. They go straight south. It's the easiest flight that they can take. And then you'll also get other like digital nomads coming from all over the world, coming in from December, January, February, March. And for a reason, it's beautiful there. There's so much to do. I really liked it. I spent 2 months there for a reason. There's hiking. Sunsets are like on par with Puerto Escondido.
Some of the best in the world there.
Unbelievable. It's like a Disney movie. You know, you see these colors.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know the Earth had those colors. That is so cool. And they last forever. Like they somehow, like, the sun sets and then it lasts another hour. He's like, what is physics? I don't even get this. This doesn't even make sense to me.
There's something magical happening there.
Yeah, it really is. It's a great place. I guess the only thing, it's checking all the boxes. The only thing that I would probably mark it down for is accommodations is just getting insane. So if you're booking on Airbnb, just expect to get gouged. And we've done that. Yeah. It's our fault. Digital nomads. We're coming in just artificially jacking up the prices. So it's making it really expensive, but it's still worth going. It's worth seeing at least once.
Yeah. That's our most popular one in South Africa. So I feel like sometimes we're just like, here's a place. But yeah, Cape Town, South Africa. Yeah, the very bottom of the tip of the African continent. So it gets like nice and warm, and it's it's just like perfect temperatures. And for whatever reason, well, I guess we'll see who ends up there. I only know one person, I know maybe 3 people off the top of my head of some friends who will be there starting kind of like December, January, like you mentioned. But last year it was like literally 40 of our friends. So I don't know why every year it sort of changes, but I bet we'll see more. I say that now. No, I know like
last year.
I don't
know.
Oh,
this is the spot to be. It's like fashion. And then this year, it's like, is anybody going? I know, like, Danny and Madison.
Crickets.
I'm like, what?
Okay.
Crickets?
So I keep saying like 3, but then I'm like, wait, I can think of 2 more in my head. I'm sure I know 2 more. I'm sure like by the time it happens, we'll see lots more people there. But yeah, I'm thinking I know maybe like 6 people off the top of my head instead of like 35 that I knew who would be there last year. But I went once in like mid-April, and it was like just starting to get a little cold. It wasn't the best timing, but it worked out logistically for me. But yeah, so definitely January is like prime Cape Town time. And like you said, it's just the most beautiful nature. The mountains there are incredible. It's like visually one of the most stunning cities like in the whole world, in my humble opinion. Even though it's got like a darker vibe. Like the ocean is kind of like aggressive and cold and scary. It's not like your pleasant like Caribbean, super chill.
Aggressive
I think
and
so.
Cold and scary. It just reminds me of a Northern Californian ocean. It's just like
exactly.
Yeah.
I feel the same about Northern
like,
California.
I'm not
it's not your. I'll say like it's not your tropical like Puerto Escondido Caribbean or like beautiful smooth ocean you want to like swim in every day, but it like has a beautiful view of the sea. We'll say. I'll say
look,
that.
don't touch.
Exactly. I like to be specific of my oceans and my experiences. I don't want someone ending up there thinking it's like a beautiful spot to swim every single morning to dip your toe in. But if you just want to look at it,
definitely not.
It's a great place.
Yeah, great place. And average temperature in January, 83 and 63. Can't go wrong with that. That's exactly what you're looking for. You forget that it's winter when you're there. You're like, you have to, when I left, I ended up in Belgium, and I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot about this. How the hell?"
I know you do kind of
cold?
Forget that winter exists elsewhere. It is weird when you're in a warm location.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh yeah, the whole world is warm. And then I forget my friends back home are like posting snow in Michigan, and I'm like, oof.
Ew, God, that sucks.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah. So that's number 2. Anything else to add to Cape Town?
Nope.
All right. Number 3 on our list, I feel like we haven't talked about this location in a long time. I've kind of forgotten about it lately, but that's Chiang Mai in Thailand. So to spell that one out for you, we've got Chiang is the first word, and then Mai, Mai, and that is in Thailand. So I first went there, I actually spent a month there with Diego back in 2018. So it's been, that's like 6 years ago at this point. It's been a really long time since I spent some time in Thailand, another location, which we'll talk about soon, but I haven't been to Chiang Mai in a long time. But that said, it's always a hot spot. Like if you love Thailand, a lot of people will go and spend time there. It's a really great place to get work done. I know it seems weird, but it's just kind of a really easy environment. I almost think about it kind of like Puerto Escondido, but instead of small beach town, it's like tiny little like town filled with temples and street food.
It kind of was one of the original digital nomad locations, wasn't it? That was
for sure, because it was always like it was an inexpensive place. It was probably one of the first places that like had great Wi-Fi in a really affordable city, like out, before the beach towns had it. So I think that's sort of what made it. And now I know a couple people who are there right now. It's amazing. Just, yeah, like that kind of November, December, January, February time is just like great temperatures. It's not as hot as other places in Thailand, like in the heat of their summer. And it's just easy. Like, again, there's Wi-Fi, there's tons of cafes to like, for digital nomads to work from. You'll find all your nomad food and lattes and all the things. But they've also got the most amazing street food. And it has some fun like road trips and sort of like activities and things that you can do if you just want to like get away for a day or a weekend or things like that. So it's not my personal favorite because it's very landlocked and it's not beachy. So obviously it's like mostly an X on my list. But for people who don't need the beach as much as I do, like people really love Chiang Mai. So it's there and it's a great place if you're looking for just like a cool kind of, it's like a small city. It's a city, but it's like very small and manageable. It's not like a big, overwhelming city.
Do we need to explain what nomad food means? I just threw that out there, and we said it twice now.
Did you? I didn't even remember you say it. So, Jeff, how would you define nomad food?
Bowls with avocado, pineapple, maybe some chicken.
Pineapple.
It's always a bowl, or it's like a smoothie bowl. Or it's like
avocado toast.
Avocado toast. Yeah, it's
bowl.
It's nomad food. It's typically like healthy food, but it has a certain, when you go into these restaurants, it has a certain feel to it because it's all just nomads in there. And so
it's very westernized food that just sort of like generally satisfies everyone and feels kind of healthy. Yeah. But sometimes it's nice, like when you're traveling in these foreign countries that eat totally different cuisines than something you're used to every day. Every now and then you just kind of want the comfort food that like your stomach knows, that your body knows, that just sort of like you don't have to think about, you're used to. You know, won't upset I don't know, my stomach doesn't really get upset, but a lot of people like get food poisoning and all the things a lot. So it's just sort of that just easy, satisfying things your body's used to, no matter if you're in Africa, Asia, Europe, wherever. So that's kind of why we have nicknamed it nomad food. But you can still find, like, sometimes I'll leave those just to go eat, like, the $1 pad thai on the street that's, like, better than anything you will get at, for $100 in the U.S.
$2. Yeah. So Chiang Mai.
So that's Chiang Mai.
85 and 57 average temperatures in January.
And Jeff is giving highs and lows, by the way. He keeps taking street temperatures.
Sorry, because,
Fahrenheit.
That's how it's gonna do. That's gonna happen. And
so you got us today. We need Diego back to give us our Celsius.
I like the cold. I like that it gets cold at night. I am a bear, and I like to hibernate. I want it cold,
but only at night.
Yeah, cold and then hot. So that's perfect for me. So maybe it's
that's funny. I like the hot always. Like I want to walk outside at night and like not need a jacket, still be hot, but I know I'm not.
I'm walking out into a hot swamp. Soupy.
Oh, I love it.
Gross.
Love it.
I don't want to be sweating at night. I made a rule. I don't want to sweat at night. Let's stop exercising.
I'll give you that.
I don't want to walk around and sweat.
I don't need that hot, but I want to be warm at night still. But yeah, so Chiang Mai, there you go. All right, Jeff, number 4 on the list.
Number 4, Buenos Aires. Haven't been there. On my way, I think, in late January. So I really don't know much about it. I'm going to have to lean on you to tell me what you know about Buenos Aires and why it's a good spot.
I can give it. So this, for sure. So this one is in Argentina. I went back in 2019, so it's also been a little while. And this is like, I feel like this one's what's in fashion this January, February, March with all of our friends. Why? We don't know. Someone made a decision or some weird force got us all there.
I just keep getting texts like, hey, it's Buenos Aires this year. I'm like, oh, all right.
All right.
Like as you and I do, we don't make plans. We follow plans. And apparently that's the plan. I don't know how or why.
That's what the universe had in store this winter. But so Buenos Aires, it is a big city. So it's, when you think about this compared to Chiang Mai, for example, it is a rather large city, but there's a couple digital nomad neighborhoods. So you'll see, Jeff, I think similar to Mexico City, how they're like, you've got La Condesa in Mexico City. Mm-hmm. You've got certain neighborhoods in Buenos Aires that are like the sort of like digital nomad spots within it. So you get a little bit of a smaller feel just by choosing these. Also, when you think about, so obviously Argentina is in South America, but people think of this, it's almost like the most European kind of feel city within South America. So you get a lot of benefits of the South America charm, but also a lot of the conveniences that you would have in like a very westernized sort of European city. And then also prices, you'll find some really weird things. Like there's a different rate, basically, like if you're local, if you pay with like a foreign credit card, or if you get cash, basically kind of like off the black market.
The blue rate? is what
the blue rate,
right,
and
yeah,
it's
okay.
like an eighth of the cost of what you would pay with your credit card. Like, it's actually insane. So people
Wow.
just bring a lot of US dollars before going, or you can find places to exchange it, like not from the bank, and we're just kind of like, you got to know the right people. And you pay for everything in cash there. And if you were doing that,
Digital nomad question that I don't know. Can you bring a bunch of cash into a country?
yes, if you think about forms, a lot of places will ask, like, are you bringing
Yeah.
$10,000 or more of value? So as long as you're not over that, you should be fine. Someone might be like, why are you bringing $9,950 of cash?
Yeah.
And,
It's a little
and really,
sus.
I would say the bigger concern there is just like traveling. It's scary to travel with that much cash, because if someone robs you, steals your bag, takes your stuff, you've lost. Like, typically the rule that I have is like, bring as little cash with you on your physical body on hand as possible and take it out as you need. But Argentina is a little unique, and I would say bring enough to start. And just be really careful when you're on your way there, and like put it,
Shove
on
it
your
in
body
sock
somewhere.
drawer. Yeah.
Exactly. But then once you're there are places to exchange it. And one of the beauties of it right now, and again, this is, take it for better or worse of what this does to communities, keep it in mind. But I have some friends who are there right now and are just like eating the best steaks, the best wine for everything. Like a meal that would cost $150 in the US, and it's like $18 for like full meal appetizer and the best quality steaks like you will ever get. So the food, and also someone was sending me, there was like a tub of blueberries like right now in the US that cost $4.50. He was like, this is 80 cents right now, like 80 cents for like a pack of this. I was like, this is crazy. Like, so it's really affordable right now with the exchange rate and everything going on. And it's just a really convenient city. And it's also cool. There's like great nightlife. You've got all the like tango dancing. There's tons of cafes, like, and then a ton of side trips you can do. Like, Argentina is a huge country to explore. So
First off, what are you doing where you can afford bloobs in the United States? Do you have some side hustles going on? Nobody can afford bloobs. That's ridiculous.
it's crazy. I know. Food in the US has just like gotten out of hand.
My
So
God.
yeah, if you want some
You're living the high
actual
life
like
over there, Atlanta.
yeah, so if you want some affordable fruit, vegetables, and I don't particularly eat much steak, but if steak is your thing and good wine is your thing, Argentina might be the place for you.
And I did a little research. You can bring in $10,000.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So like up to that, as long as you don't have over that, they won't question you. But it's scary to carry that much cash on you, because that can disappear in a second. You pay in US dollars because for them the US dollar is so much more valuable. So they actually want, like, locals there want to like have a physical like US dollar to use as like a better exchange form of like monetization for other things that they're doing.
All right, so I just got to pull out a bunch
It's
of cash
weird.
right
It
now.
was even the same back when I was there, and it fluctuates pretty quickly. Like I remember even back in 2019, we like booked a flight with something, and then like 2 days later, like the same price, like the equivalent in US was like $100 different. Like it's a lot of fluctuation going on right there. But if you're okay with sort of like being savvy and finding the right places to exchange your money and paying in cash and doing the things, it's yeah, you can get some good bang for your literal buck there.
Number 5 is a place I still haven't been, Playa del Carmen. Your second home, I guess, at this point. You are kind of a snowbird now. I mean, that's easy going from Atlanta to Playa del Carmen. What is that, like a 2-hour flight?
Yeah, it's like a 2-hour flight. I would say it's the same from Atlanta to Playa as it is from Atlanta to like New York, basically. So it's wild. Super close. So yeah.
Yeah, just a little further south from me. So you're going to get the warm weather. It's like, I don't know. I've never been there before, but I'm assuming it's just like 80s and 60s, something like that. Just tropical feel.
Tropical feel. The only thing with that, sometimes you'll get hurricane seasons, like but otherwise, like it stays pretty much the same temperature most year round. But it does get like when you're there in sort of like July, August time, it gets like swelteringly hot and humid to a point where like even my friends who live there full time are like, I just want to get out. Like it's pretty miserable. And I was there for my friend's wedding in October, and they chose that season because it's supposed to be like better temperatures. It's still like nice and warm, but not as crazy hot and humid. And it was just a weird weekend where it felt like it does basically in June and July. And we were sitting at the wedding. They were like so upset because it was
Melting.
It was like hot to move. You just melt walking outside. It was like, I like the heat, and even for me that was hot. But For the most part, like January, I've spent a lot of like January's, February's, March's there, and December as well. And it's warm. Like you're gonna be hot. Like you're gonna be grateful for AC to sleep with, grateful for AC in your home to work all day. But it's like a great place. There's a lot of people you'll find a lot of Canadians there who are the snowbird sort of winters. But Playa, I've spoken on it a million times. It's just like it's a city, I suppose you could call it, but it's not like crazy high-rise buildings. Like, you get some maybe like 10, 15-story condos or hotels around like max, but it feels like a small town. Like everything you need is there. It's super convenient. It's right on the ocean. Lots of cool little islands to go to, great day trips, tons of cafes, good food. It's not the prettiest to the eye. I always say that. Like you kind of get there and you'll be like, why did Marissa tell me to go here? Like it's ugly. It's not great. But then like you start to learn its charm because there's so much activity going on. There's so many nomads, great community. It's like really active if you're into just like sports and working out. Like you can find anything you want there. So I love Playa. And it's a great little place. But anything else I missed there, Jeff?
How are the prices there at this point?
Good question. Definitely more expensive than it used to be. Like it's, I don't know, probably 1.5 to 2 times, I feel like, the price that it used to be if I think about, 5 years ago. But I would say for like a typical, if you were going to get like a 1-bedroom, like modern condo with a doorman and like a rooftop, like kind of swanky rooftop pool. So like if you're looking for something like that, I would say for a month, you would probably find it around like $1,800 US would be my guess.
Yeah.
Whereas it used to be, I feel like $1,100 for, $1,000 or less for like the same thing. So you can still find places at that price that just, aren't as nice, don't have as many amenities or different, farther back from the beach, things like that. But it's pretty affordable, but it keeps getting higher and higher. And compared to like, if you go to a local town and, where there aren't a lot of nomads, like I feel like the food is like a third of the price. Like everything, the prices are super jacked up there for your nomad food, right? Like your salads, your bowls are literally the same prices as they are in the US because people know they can charge that there.
It's getting harder and harder to find these hidden gems that aren't jacked up in price. We might have to do that, an episode on hidden gems.
Like where's you can
left
still find those
that hasn't hit inflation hasn't crushed it, and nomad prices.
I'll give you number 7 is that still on our list. I won't get there yet, but
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we still got a few, and even number 8, I would say probably. But
definitely number 8.
All right, so our last 2, but yeah, that's what I got for Playa.
Okay, so I think you asked me that one and I didn't know the answer, so I'll ask you. Number 6 is what's number 6?
So number 6 is Santa Teresa in Costa Rica. So I'll be in Costa Rica in January. I always go to like a little different small town that is not necessarily nomad friendly, but it's a little town that I love and a place where my family has spent a lot of time. So it's different. I would say Santa Teresa and Nosara are probably the 2 biggest, like most popular nomad towns. It used to be Tamarindo that's more like backpackery, surfy. It's not very charming in my opinion. So that's about 45 minutes from where I go, where Santa Teresa is about 5 hours farther south. So I know you've spent some time there, so I'll let you give a little more detail of like the specifics of Santa Teresa.
Yeah, I went to Santa Teresa once for a month. Third time in Costa Rica. The first 2 times I went over to the east side, Puerto Viejo, and I'd say that's kind of less of a digital nomad place, but becoming more of one. Santa Teresa, probably a little bit more established. There's a couple Salinas in there. A lot of cafes that you can work from. It was kind of a weird vibe when I went there. It was great for winter because the weather is fantastic. It's one of those places, like we were talking about, forgetting winter. I'm seeing like Christmas wreaths around people's doors, and it's like it doesn't quite jive with your brain when it's 90 degrees out with 80% humidity. You're like, how can Christmas exist in such an atmosphere? This is wild. But it's I can't even explain. Maybe you can do a better job than me. The sunsets that you get on the Pacific side in Costa Rica just last forever. They go down, and then you've got the tide pulling out, and it just does this mirror thing on the sand, and it's just beautiful for like an hour. We didn't we would not miss a sunset. That was what you do. It's like,
Same.
all right, finish working, go check out the sunset, and it just starts cooling off a little bit. And it just feels amazing. For the town itself, it's interesting because Santa Teresa didn't really exist, and it's not really even a town. It's just a street, and then there's a few side streets with some very expensive homes and stuff. But mainly, it's just a road that spans maybe 3 miles, 3 miles.
Kind of like Tulum in that way too.
Yeah, it's just kind of a road, and it only got established back in the 70s or 80s, where people from Europe came and bought up all the property and started, putting in hotels and restaurants and stuff.
Right.
And then it just kind of evolved into a digital nomad spot. And it is, you've got this road that's really busy, people flying up and down it on ATVs and stuff. And it feels a bit touristy. It's expensive. Costa Rica is surprising. It always surprises people when you get to Costa Rica.
It's similar to American prices. Yeah.
Yeah, you can drop a lot of money there. But that's the only downside, I would say. A little touristy, a little expensive, but it's just absolutely beautiful and an amazing place. If you hate the cold weather, you want something beautiful to replace it with, amazing sunsets, super warm, digital nomad food. It'll do all those things for you. I remember thinking really fondly of that, going, oh my God, I can't believe I get to spend a Christmas season like in a place like this. It was great.
I love it too. I feel like when I think of Beach Commute and like why we named our company this and our logo, like you said, of like the little scooter, I also think of little towns like that. And there's something about the sunset. I think of like the colors, that sort of like orange and goldy colors, if I think about our brand as well, that I see everyone post in Puerto Escondido. And I know when I go to Costa Rica, every day revolves around the sunset as well. And I personally just love that about small beach towns, of like everybody just kind of stops work, stops what they're doing. It gets dark kind of early because it's, closer to the equator. So it's not like crazy long days. It's like every day at 6:30, the sun is going to set. Everyone's going to like chill and go watch it for an hour and just be. And it's like, I just feel like biologically, it's like so calming. It's so good for the nervous system. It's just so good for community. I really like the quality of life and the way that people live in that slower way, instead of just like hustle, hustle, hustle. And like, now it's 8 p.m. I'm going to slam my laptop shut and run to meet someone here. It's just like, it's just chill. And with Costa Rica, their country's slogan, I guess if you want to call it, is Pura Vida, which means like the pure life. And it really feels like it. So there's a magic in Costa Rica. It's also one of the countries, we talked about this last time, the blue zones. Did this come up in one of our last podcasts?
Well, maybe. It doesn't ring a bell.
I can't remember. I've been talking to several people. It just keeps coming up lately, which is why it's on my mind. But there's 5 countries in the world, 5 specific places within countries as well, where I think it's like has the most people who have lived over 100 years old. So it's sort of like a quality of life thing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I recall.
And it's like there's some magic to these places, like some energy, just the way people are living, what they're eating, the healthy lifestyles. And one of those is in Costa Rica. And I feel like it feels good to be in Costa Rica, like no matter where you are.
They're just happy people.
I would like.
I totally
happy people.
Totally forgot about that aspect. Like, yeah, the atmosphere there is just relaxed and satisfied with life. It is totally, and wherever you go in Costa Rica, it's pura vida. It's just like chill out, slow down, and you have to slow down. You have to remind yourself when you're ordering in restaurants.
Food will take a while to arrive to you.
Gotta fight to get your bill.
There are no rush.
Exactly. They are not in a rush. Not in any way.
Not in a rush, but I think we could really use a lot more of that. So it's always a good way for me to just kind of like slow down, I just feel like my quality of life is always better when I'm in Costa Rica. So
and you're on your way.
We'll end that one.
January.
Yeah,
right?
and I'll be there in a couple weeks. Yeah, I'm pumped. So
great.
I love it. I love it there. So number 7, going back to Asia and back to Thailand, actually, which is Koh Phangan, which if you're listening to this, I know if I heard this first time, I'd be like, how do you spell it? What are you talking about? So it's KOH is the first word, and then it's a weird spelling. It's PHANGAN. So Koh Phangan. And it is a small little island in Thailand. And I would say the hardest thing about this as a nomad is actually just getting there. So you have to like take a long flight to an island nearby, land on their main airport, and then take a ferry over. And there's not really many cars on the island of Koh Phangan. It's just like scooters everywhere. So when I think about, it's kind of different colors. I don't think about it as like orangey and gold as like Costa Rica and Puerto Escondido. but it's very like bright white sands, like just jungly, bright green, bright blue, like all of that. So it's a great place. When we were talking about how most of the other digital nomad locations we've talked about have just raised in prices over the years, I feel like this one, it's probably up a little bit for sure, but it's still just like way more affordable comparatively to a lot of the other places that we've talked about. Like the food is still really inexpensive. The location, like the accommodations aren't, crazy expensive. They also don't have as great of accommodations. I would say the hardest thing here is like you're not going to find like very many super modern places. It's more of like kind of like shacks on the beach and things like that.
Well, that's why it's a hidden gem then, right?
Yeah, it's still very rustic, very jungly. Like it has like one main road that kind of goes around the rings of the island, and you're starting to see some more modern places pop up. I have a friend who invested in a place there that's some more modern homes, but it kind of has like a ring around the whole island. Like it's not that big. Like there's a main kind of beach road. There's a whole main nomad area, and it's got all your nomad food if you want it, but also like great local Thai food and markets. So I would say, it's just far and hard to get to, but it's definitely a popular one. In the January time, that winter time is a good place. It's really always a good place to be. But
how's your spice tolerance?
It's gotten a little bit better. Like I wouldn't choose or prefer like to go crazy spicy in Thailand or Mexico for that matter, anywhere, but I feel like I've gotten a little more, I'm trying more spicy for real. I just like, just the tiniest bit of spice is like so spicy to me compared to most people. But I feel like because I'm like, I'm like sharing food with friends and people and trying things, and it's like, I've gotten a little more tolerance. I'm trying.
Yeah, you're working on it. My girlfriend Manny can relate. Colombians are renowned for having zero heat in their food. Zero.
Which you wouldn't think. They seem like a spicy kind of bunch.
Nope. Like ketchup is too spicy. So anytime I'll just make a normal dish for me, and she'll be like, like fire breathing dragon. And I'm like, what? What is it?
Yeah.
If I put just a dash of chili in there, it just blows you back. But it's funny when you're traveling, the range of spices that you'll encounter, like that's a good example. Like Thai food, you can go just like sweating into your food hot, and you can Mexico too. You can just be like,
Mexico,
holy
India,
hell,
Thailand.
What is happening to me?
Yeah, if you're like, will you make it a little bit spicy? It's just like most of the spice. It's like
spectrum
it would be like super spicy in the U.S.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of Colombia, you want to bring us home with number 8?
Oh yeah, number 8. Last place to escape on our list is Medellín. And actually, it's a good place kind of anytime. It is the city of eternal spring, so the weather doesn't change. It literally
reminds me of like Adam and Eve, like Garden of Eden.
Yeah, the best part about it is exactly what you're gonna get, and it doesn't matter what time of year you go there. It's gonna be exactly the same. I think the average temperature fluctuation is a total of 1 degree from their spring to their winter, basically. So you're looking at
is there not even a rainy season there?
It'll get a little bit more rainy in the summer by like a tad, like an extra 2 rainy days or something like that.
It's so crazy. It's one of the only places that isn't fluctuating temperature or like rain. Like I feel like not many places just don't change anything ever. I
can't think, like
very
Hawaii
unusual.
maybe? Do they have? I don't think they have seasons. That might be the closest thing that I can think of.
I'm trying to think if they have some like rainier times. I'd have to check. I don't know.
Even then, they might have rainy times. Yeah, Medellín is just kind of like the time stands still. It just doesn't really. Yeah, it just doesn't really change. The thing you can count on is the morning. It's going to be fairly clear, a little bit cloudy, and then by 2 p.m. you're going to have a massive thunderstorm that you won't see coming. Like it'll be like, oh my god, it's beautiful out. Look at your laptop, crash, boom. And you're like, what the fuck? What happened?
All year it's like that?
And then you're like, oh, it's 2 p.m. Yeah, no, you can set your clock to it. 2 p.m. You're going to have a thunderstorm.
Wow.
It's going to be this crazy thunderstorm. It's going to be gone in an hour. It's just like,
interesting.
Like it never even happened. Or I was renting a motorcycle. And I rode up to Rio Negro, which is like up by the airport, it's just up the hill. And I forgot it was approaching 2 o'clock because it was beautiful out. And then I get like half an hour up there, and it's just torrential, like hurricane force downpour. And if you're not watching this, I'm holding up my fingers, like 3 inches thick of water just running down the street my motorcycle's brakes stopped working, and like we all pulled into a furniture store, and we're all just waiting it out. It was the wettest I've ever been in my life. It's like to my bones. So I ended up getting back. I'm like, all right, learn that lesson. Don't go anywhere at 2 p.m. in Medellín.
That's bizarre. So I guess instead of having like a month or two of rain, it's just like 2 p.m. all year. Just like it's like a time of day instead of a time of year.
Yeah.
And that one, the spelling, I just want to throw that one out for people. Because it's pronounced. I know people say like Medellín, but when you spell it out, it's Medellin. So it got like that Spanish.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else do you want to say about Medellín?
Yeah, we're talking about places that haven't really been hit by nomad prices so much, or just inflation too much. Pretty good spot to go. Everything is still relatively cheap. You can go into like the more touristy areas, Poblado, Provenza, and the prices are going to be significantly higher, but they're still within like a really, like if you're coming from the northern hemisphere, still relatively cheap. It is the cheapest. It might compete with Buenos Aires at this point because their exchange rate is changing quite a bit. But it has historically been the cheapest place in all South and Central America, if you look on any list for cost of living. So you'll find that. And if you go outside of those touristy areas, you're looking at dinners for $5 to $10, $10 on the high side. So it's really, really cheap. And I do recommend going outside some of those touristy areas because you can get more of a cultural experience. You get more of a wide range of food that isn't smoothie bowls and the like. So I'll be there in a few weeks.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like you said, it's good all year, but January, if you're looking for those temperatures away, it's just like a good solid nomad place to go to.
Manny, my girlfriend, just got there and she's like, "Oh my God, it's hot." I'm like, "It's not. It's not. It's the same. It's just You've been wearing flannel and sweatshirts the last month, so.
I know, it's nice. It's always so nice when you like walk off the plane and you can like smell the humidity and feel it. It's like, yes, like I'm back in the warmth.
That's it. That wraps up our 8. If we missed anything, write us in and we'll add it to the next one. We'll do this this is for 2024 as new hotspots pop up. We're going to do 2025, 2026. As long as this podcast keeps going. So, yeah, let us know if we missed any spots.
Yeah, we got you covered.
Is there anything else, Marissa?
Yeah, I was going to say, we did this episode. Someone wrote us in, I feel like actually just a couple days ago. So we've actually had a bunch of requests coming in. Yeah. So if we haven't gotten to yours yet,
Susie.
We will. We've heard them. Susie, we love it. Yeah, so someone wrote us in and said, like, what are the places to go in the winter? Like, what are the specific places? Mm-hmm. So you ask, we will deliver mostly, but we do collect all of the questions and just whichever ones feel the most appropriate at the time, or like Jeff and I just kind of intuitively feel called to do, or Diego when he's back from Bali and we're better on a time zone where we can talk to Diego more again. We miss you, Diego.
We need some more Diego voice on this podcast.
I know.
Yeah.
Soon. He's one more week in Asia. It's been hard. Yeah, Jeff and I are in the same time zone right now-ish. I say we're like 3 hours apart, but which is why you've been hearing more of the two of us. But Diego, we haven't forgotten about him. You'll hear from, we still talk to him, but it's just been harder to coordinate with all the podcast episodes as well. So again, do write in if you have any ideas, if you have questions, if there's a topic you want us to cover. And if you've written in and we haven't recorded it yet, we do have a running list. There's a lot of requests that come in, and we do really, really try to get to them. And we love your questions because we like to answer what you guys genuinely like to know as you're transitioning into this lifestyle. Like, we've been doing it for so long that sometimes we forget the very beginning stages of what you want to hear. So it's really, really helpful. If you want to write us in, hello@beachcommute.com. If you haven't done so, we'd love if you could leave the 5-star thumbs up, subscribe, whatever that looks like. If you can take your phone, it takes 5 seconds. It really does help people find the podcast. We keep seeing it grow week after week, and the stars and the subscribes grow week after week, and it really helps other people find it. So you get more of us when you get more of that. So thank you for that. And then lastly, if you want to receive 2 remote companies that are hiring for awesome remote jobs currently, each week we send that out to our subscribers. So our email list really does get different information than you hear on the podcast. We also get Jeff and I's personal pictures of wherever we are and what we're doing, which is fun. So beachcommute.com/email is where you sign up for that, so you can receive remote jobs hiring every week, so you can actually start to live this lifestyle too. I feel like that's all the things, Jeff. Anything I'm forgetting?
Last week we sent out a poll of whether or not you were a city person or a beach person. It's surprisingly close. It was 56% beach and 44% city. So I thought I was going to be outvoted by a ton. I guess not. I guess there are a few city people out there. I also voted.
You were city?
I voted city. Yeah, I'm in that percentage. I might have stuffed the ballot a little bit.
Slight minority. No worry. But it's pretty evenly split. So we'll bring you guys more info on cities as well. We love the polls. And yeah, if there's ever anything you have a question or want us to know, write us in. And I guess with that, we will see you back next week.
Thanks. See you next week.